y'all. Welcome back to Toya DTV, Toya DTV, Toya DT to the V. Y'all, we are back. Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 7, My Bloody Galentine. Y'all, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. First of all, have y'all ever heard of Galentine? This taught me something. Never heard of it at all. First thing we see Destiny and Kimmi meeting up at Madani. And Kimmi is sort of playing the peacemaker role, and she really wants to know what happened between Mel and Destiny. Destiny, whenever somebody asks her about that situation, she instantly gets ticked off. Like, instantly mad. She doesn't know what happened, according to her. She doesn't know what happened, why she's in the place she's in with her, and she looks pissed off about it, really. So Destiny says that, Mel has never been really specific on saying what she's heard or Destiny saying in the room. And really, Kimmi just wants everybody to sort of get on a better term, because it's kind of tearing the group apart that everybody has some kind of ought against the other person. So she wants to get everybody together on like a group event, and everybody comes, and hopefully they can make some sort of progress. So next we see Maurice and Marceau. They met up at Scott Imperium, and they're basically talking about Martell. Martell wants to buy his share back into Scholt. That is the company that they built together, and we learned that Tisha actually bought him out. Now, as we remember from last episode, Tisha doesn't trust Martell as far as being a part owner in the Scholt business anymore. So they're trying to figure out how to move forward. I recall a point when Marceau said that he would never trust doing business with him at that stage anymore. But Maurice is saying, you know what? For me, it's like he has to prove himself by getting that business license and that builder's license. I don't think Martell is putting the emphasis on that builder's license. He feels like he can go all around the situation, get what he wants, get what he needs by grouping with the right people. And at the end of the day, it almost seems like he's just not willing to do the work. So everybody's kind of side-eyeing him. Also, Maurice points out, like, it's kind of hard for him to get back into the Scholt family because he's done some verbal damage to the people who own this company. Whether it was truth or not, the way he put it out there, whatever it was that he said, I still remember at one point, I believe they were ready to fight. Marceau and Martell. Martell did look like he was telling a little bit of the truth. So next, y'all, we see Mel. She's meeting up with Dominique Dillard, who is her psychotherapist. She says since the divorce, she's been doing check-ins with her to make sure all her mental, everything is aligned with where she's trying to go, what her goal is. She says 2022 Mel is not the same Mel everybody's used to. People are taking her kindness for weakness. So this year, she's not just letting people say whatever they want to say. She's going to correct the situations if people keep targeting her. So the psychotherapist decides to challenge that and say, what about self-control? And her way of self-control is to not go around people who she believes can provoke her to do something she doesn't really want to do, or go somewhere she doesn't really want to go mentally. So I mean, honestly, I applaud Mel, because it's a lot of people who think she's wrong in certain situations. And honestly, all that Mel has been through, she just doesn't want anybody in her circle who she really can't lean on, who's really not there for her, really. So I get it. It is what it is. I mean, if I'm not around you, I don't have to lay you out. If I'm not around you, I don't have to hear the message you say. If I'm not around you, you don't have the opportunity to invade my space that I'm in. So I get it. So we see Martell go and meet up with his business partner, Fred, and they're just kind of discussing the logistics of him getting back in the swing of things. He hasn't really been building. He hasn't really been involved with any projects since the divorce. We all know that divorce put him in a bad light. So really, nobody really wants to do business with him, period, at this point in time. So, he got his business partner, and he's still asking about the business license, the builder's license. Martell still doesn't have it. This man pulls out a book that has highlights, sticky notes, everything Martell needs to pass the exam to get his builder's license. I believe Martell left without that book, y'all. and Fred makes a really good point. He's like, look, you want to come in and be partners But in reality, you don't have the license, so it's like you could walk away at any time and just reap the consequences of breaking a contract. It wouldn't be that detrimental to you. What's different between that and your marriage? Martell pulls out the man card, y'all. Well, men, we can talk anything out. We can, get things back in order. With a woman, it's a little different. When they done, they'll walk away. But men, we got that connection. We can hash things out. I'm like, your way of hashing things out is to get the heat off of you in any way possible, including telling lies. So that ain't really trustworthy. So I don't think he took the bait anyway. He's like, yeah, okay, talk all you want, get that license. So y'all, we have arrived to Kimmi's event night for the Galentine event, and we see Tiffany and Kimmi kind of still setting up. Tiffany's being the bartender, and Kimmi really just wants this night to come out with a little bit of progress, a little bit of movement. She knows that it's not a quick fix. Nobody's going to leave being best friends, but she want to make some kind of headway so that the group can be together without a squabble every time they, sit down. So first in comes Tisha, and she got on her sneakers, her bubblegum pants, and Tisha looks good, but she comes in, hey y'all, don't bet against me, girl, don't bet against me. Because you never know, because don't bet against, I'm telling you, I'm here, I'm ready. So Tisha's the first one in. Y'all, I believe Tisha came ready to fight. Like, honestly. Not fist fight. I believe Tisha came ready to box all these chicks with her words. I really do feel like she was, but the timing was off. But anyway, so she arrives. Kimmi lets her know, hey, don't be saying, girl this, girl that. Okay, so Kimmi checks that ahead of time. All right, cool. They sit down. In comes Mel and Stormy. Y'all, I don't see why Stormy's on the show. I don't have anything against Stormy. I did not know Stormy before she got on the show. But on this show, she really just seems like an instigator. And honestly, that's what Tiffany was kind of doing. Like, being the instigator, jumping in on stuff she didn't know anything about. It just looks like it's in bad taste to me. But anyway, Tiffany is bartending still. So everybody now is at the table. Mel walking in with Stormy. Tisha's on her phone ignoring Mel walking in. And she said in her confessional, Tisha said in her confessional that she was coming in good spirits. She only wore sneakers so that she could be comfortable. When Mel walked in that room, Tisha's whole energy changed. It's one thing to not like a person or to not get along with a person, but it's another thing when they walk in the room and you just can't even be cordial. You want to be petty. If you came in good spirits, you wouldn't want to be petty. So I hate that. I really hate that. And why would you allow somebody to take your space? You were there first. So make eye contact or just say, hey, what's the harm in that? They sit down and a few minutes later, now apparently all of them were late except Tisha. So then a few moments later, Destiny comes in. Destiny's late. Okay? She comes in, sits down. Okay, time to get the game going. All right. Okay, so the game begins. Kimmi is going to be the mediator. Basically, the game is write something about yourself and then write a misconception about yourself. So everybody goes around and they say their thing and what the misconception is. Well, actually, Kimmi reads them out and the person that wrote it raises their hand. All right. The game went smooth, actually, because nobody was interacting with each other. They were interacting with Kimmi. So after the game, Kimmi goes to move on, and Tisha's like, hold on, let me pause you right there. So, everybody, I heard everybody was looking for me. So, I'm here, and I heard that everybody had a whole lot to say. So, say it to my face. I'm here. But she came with positive energy. No, ma'am. Look, Tisha is the type of person that will not be happy until somebody truly checks her. Truly checks her, then she's going to play the victim. Tisha is always the victim. I believe Wanda has brainwashed Tisha into truly believing that she's never wrong. Even in this situation, Tisha is wrong. Tisha is wrong because there was a time and place throughout this event for everybody to have their one-on-one conversation in front of everybody, but it's like you're talking only to the person that you're talking to. So she interjects that. So Mel is like, who are you talking about? And I'm talking about you. I heard that you in particular had a lot of things to say about me, about my husband, all of that. Kiki told me that you were trying to get her to talk about Marceau and all of this. Now, on the past episodes, I do not recall hearing Kiki say Mel was trying to get people to talk about you and your husband. As far as I know, that never happened. So Mel nicely picks up the phone. Look, I have to applaud Mel for her calmness, really, because Mel could have snapped off right then and there because of how Tisha's flipping her hair, popping her neck. Nobody want to be around that. Like, honestly, everybody's sitting around the table like grown women trying to talk. Then you got her over here doing all of this. Like, are we talking or are we out in the streets? Which one? Because I'm sure Mel can get with whichever. You know what I'm saying? So she calls Kiki. Kiki says she did not say that and that she didn't say anything. And Kimmi had to correct her and say, hey, you said some things. So don't say you didn't say anything. You said more than your fair share. So Kiki, you know, she said she didn't say anything that wasn't true. All right, so Kiki backpedaled. She said she didn't say anything that was true. Cool. Mel hangs up the phone. At the end of the day, I don't think Kiki said that. I don't know where Tisha got that from. But, I mean, if she anything like Wanda, she hears what she want to hear and put her own spin on what somebody just said to her. So they get back into that. And then, basically, that gets killed off. And now Destiny and Mel are having a conversation because Destiny doesn't understand why her and Mel are in the place that they are. Destiny asked Mel basically, so I heard when you were there, you said you're here bringing in 2022 with everybody you want to bring it in with. Is that true? Mel's like, yeah. So since you don't recall, we did have this conversation. I'll reiterate some things. So she started talking. And Tisha kept interjecting. And Mel was getting aggravated because Tisha had been interjecting the whole time. So she just flips off, was like, look, well, first of all, bitch, I ain't talking to you. And Tisha stands up. She's mad. She's trying to... It is ridiculous. But anyway, everybody gets themselves together, sit back down. So Mel and Destiny are trying to talk once again. Mel starts telling Destiny what it is. She said it was, Destiny is hot. So, after that, Destiny got checked by Kimmi on her attitude and being aggressive. She calms down and says, go ahead, Mel. Stormy chimes in, I wouldn't do nothing after that. I wouldn't be talking after that. Not what you just did. So then, Destiny's like, look, we trying to talk. Would you just be quiet and let her talk? You be quiet. So they back and forth with each other, thugging it out with their words. Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. It is. Yeah. I know you want to be like me. It's all good. I want to be like me too. All I hear is T.I. I don't know where their Stormy's from or whatever, but they were going head to head. Destiny versus Stormy. Ding, 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 ding. And at it never stopped. Never stopped. Destiny stood up, ready to fight Stormy. But she stood up, but she didn't move. She just stood up and started talking at Stormy. I hear Stormy say, you ain't got enough to come at me like that, bitch. You ain't got enough to come at me like that, bitch. So, in my mind, I'm like, oh. So you're the type that sues people. I thought about that thing for a long time. And I'm like, what does she mean by that? Like, at first, I'm like, okay, is she calling Destiny poor? Is she saying that you ain't on my level? Is she saying you are not rocking the designer bags that I'm rocking, so you can't even talk to me? Like, I was trying to figure out what Stormy meant by that line. And I boiled it down to what I thought, which, I mean, could completely be wrong. But when people usually say that, it's because they have a lot of businesses and wealth. And if a person were to touch them, they would try to sue them for everything they got. So I don't know. This is all alleged, but it sounds like, because at the time, Destiny stood up first. After that, Stormy stood up and was like, look, you ain't got enough to come at me like that. So that was a little scary because, you know, certain shows don't allow for people to sue people. And I don't know what the contracts are as far as Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I do know the Housewife franchise, they are not allowed to sue each other for anything. So I'm a little concerned on that part. I know she's not officially like a part of the show, like main cast, so I'm not sure how that would affect neither one of them. Well, no, Destiny is a main cast member now. So I don't know how that would affect the situation when you have a friend of the show threatening to sue a main cast member. So I don't know how that would work, but that is really interesting and a bit scary because Stormy interjected herself in something she didn't have to be in. So it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. But I would, you know what? If I find out how their contracts are, I will let y'all know because that really threw me when she said that. I'm like, oh, you're gonna sue? Oh, ain't so hood after all, huh? People in the hood don't be suing, but okay, y'all. So I don't know. That's what I came up with. If y'all think different, let me know. Put it down in the comments. What did Stormy mean by that line? Let me know, y'all. This was a really good episode, but it continues on through next episode. We're gonna see if hopefully it will pick right up where it left off. We're not done with this Galentine event, and this season is gonna be really good. The rest of the season is gonna be really good. So, y'all, tell me what you think of this episode. Put it in the comments. Peace.